Welcome, everyone, to Goffstown High School. My name is Scott Gross. I'm joined by Broden McCune. Broden, this is a big game for both teams. This is a game that will lead them to the championship.
Yeah, championship implications here, and we're going to see a lot of run and a lot of nitty-gritty down in those trenches areas, as the football aficionados like to say. So we're going to take a fine look at those players in the lines of either team, along with the running backs, who are going to be key parts of either team today. So we're going to take a look right now as we're going to head down to kickoff. Welcome, fans. We are here in Goffstown as we've got NHIAA playoffs here for Division I football as the Winneconnet Warriors travel to take on the Goffstown Grizzlies. I am Broden McCune. Joining me is Scott Gross. Scott, how are we doing on this chilly afternoon?
You talk about chilly. It's about a 30-degree difference from last Saturday. It's probably about 45 degrees here in Goffstown, and what a matchup. This is a rematch of about 3 years ago when the Winnacunnet Warriors won the state championship and Goffstown traveled to Winneconnet. And that was a different Winneconnet team altogether. That team was dominant.
Yeah,
this team here, not as good, in my opinion.
Yeah, they won the chip that year, Scott. They took home the state title, and they're looking to do the same this year as they're going to take on Goffstown with championship implications here, Scott, as the winner of this game moves on to the state finals.
Yeah, so I think Goffstown is going to be facing a really tough Winneconnet defense. That's what they're known for. And also they're going to see a wrinkle on offense from Winneconnet. They play that, triple option.
Triple option, yeah.
So it should be a great game, and here's the kickoff.
Kickoff from Ethan Bradley goes deep to about the 15, 16-yard line, and Winnecunnet's going to take this one up, and this is trouble. As they get this one down to the 45, this is a problem we've seen all year, Scott.
Yeah, and this is one of when the special teams for Goffstown has been hit or miss, and that was they let up about 20, 25 yards on that kickoff return.
Yeah, Scott. So this is something we've talked a little bit about pregame, as we're gonna see a different set from Winneconnet, not at all similar to anything Goffstown has seen this year. So we'll see how they counteract this on defense, starting right now, Scott. Two backs in the backfield, along with under center number 17. That's the quarterback for Winneconnet.
Up the
Snap
middle.
taken up the middle, and this one's going to be wrapped up.
Yeah, but he gets 4 or 5 yards as number 22, Tucker McCann.
So Scott, something big here is going to be the big men up front and the push they can get off the line, and we'll see how that progresses on this chilly day where you're going to lose your breath quite quickly as this Goffstown line plays both sides of the ball. So we'll see how they do here.
So the quarterback is Kyle Tilley.
It's going to be the same set for Winneconnet here as last play, and it's just going to be a matter of who's getting the ball this time. This time, number 3, that's Eaton on the carry. Not as many yards as the last one, but still a good pickup, and about 3 left on this third down.
Yeah, so Antonio Capos with the tackle. Now it's a third down and 3, and this you're going to see this from both sides. It's a grinded-out game. We talked about in the pregame where they both like to run the ball, chew up clock.
Yeah, it's going to be a nitty-gritty type of game today, Scott. But you know what I like to see here on this third down play?
A pass.
Play action.
Yeah, me too.
17 checks his sides, and the line goes down, and this is going to be a fumble, Scott.
And this is what has plagued Winneconnet is turnovers. This one they recover. But will they take a chance here on a 4th down and 3? They might. Or are they going to try to play more or less field position game? I think they're going to.
I don't think they do here as we see their punt team come out. I think that's a smart decision. You're going to start off the game, be a little bit conservative here for Winneconnet. And, again, special teams has been a question mark all year, and this quick substitution, Goffstown was trying to rush people off the field. They have every right to, as both teams have a right to substitution. But
how many players do they have on the field here?
I think they have the correct amount as that snaps high, and Hinault almost gets there. Let
Good
this
kick,
one bounce.
though.
Don't touch it if you're Caden Perry, and this
Good
one rolls
kick.
to
Oh,
about
my
the
goodness.
the 11-yard line, Scott.
Good kick by Winnacunnet.
Really good play. It had a really nice bend to it, Scott, as he sets it down right around the 11-yard line, and this is going to be tough starting field position for Goffstown.
But, Broden, I think on that one, give it half a second more, maybe 1 second. That's a blocked punt.
Yeah. Jeremy Hinault was down in the dive trying to get to that. And we're going to see the Goffstown offense. So, Scott, something I talked about a little bit with you before game is how much focus has been on this Goffstown offense all year. It's been lights out for them. They've been really good as this offensive attack for Goffstown is where you like to see.
And that's a handoff to Picard. And Picard takes it for about 5 yards.
Speaking of all year, that's what Picard has done all year, Scott. He's grinded out these big, not big, but decent runs almost every down.
So we want to welcome everyone who's watching this on GTV as well as Facebook and YouTube. And for those of you who are watching it by streaming, and that's a fumble.
The offensive line there jumps on it, though.
And that is, I think, one of the first fumbles that I have seen from Goffstown, from Picard, right?
From Picard.
Yeah.
I would say all year, but I think maybe almost his entire career, Scott.
Yeah.
He's been quite diligent with his ball carrying.
So it's a third down and a long one. You don't see that often from Picard, and let's see what Goffstown does. I suspect it'll be another run.
Great awareness from the Goffstown offensive line to jump on that one, and it's going to be a keeper up the middle.
And I think he's stopped.
It's
close. It's close.
Like half a yard short there, Scott.
It's going to be close.
So I think if you're Goffstown here,
they're going to bring the chains in. They have to bring the chains in here.
They're calling the first down, Scott. I don't know if I agree with that one.
It's hard to tell from our angle, Broden, but Goffstown does garner a first down on that one. But you can tell right off the bat that Winneconnet is a stout defensive team. This is not going to be an easy situation for the Grizzlies, Scott, running the ball.
And I'd love to see some pass down the field as it's a cover one with one safety deep, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Over the middle, that's Caden Perry who's open, and he drops that one. Oh.
You don't see it that often. Caden Perry has awesome hands, and
number 7 on the opposite side of the ball there for Winnacunnet, that's Kylan Delage, was beat by Caden Perry there.
Yeah, beautiful ball, and those are the ones that you just don't want to drop, and Caden Perry usually great hands.
So the would-be success there was, I think you can credit that one to Jared Hinault's read. He looked to his left first and then went to his right, and that pulled the one safety there. Handoff to Zach Picard. That one
got nothing. So either on that one, it almost looked like that was read wrong because there was 3 guys right there.
I think Jared Hinault did have a path to run there, Scott, and that's what he's done quite well all season. So
now you got this is a situation that you don't find Goffstown in a lot. That's a 3rd and 11. Again, that was after a drop ball by Perry.
I look that same direction again here. Use the read to your advantage. And
that could have been a flag.
That he got there just a little bit early, Scott. So I think that's a 50-50 ball there.
Yeah, it was. But good defense. If you listen, I say that's also good D. So he was right on him.
Yeah. So Scott, we talked a lot about last week. You got a big name like Solomon Sanchez that you're punting to. You got 2 good names here.
But you kick it right over here.
Yeah,
you kick it to us.
To Wyndham's sideline, and you don't let them Winneconnet rather.
Yeah.
And you don't let them get a chance.
Or the short side of the field. You kick it to the short side, but that's what he does.
Drop, and they're gonna pick that up, and that's not a good decision.
That was not a good decision. You're right, because and you got Cooper Flanagan 14 into the tackle along with Hinault.
That's close to being a fumble there, Scott.
Yeah, you got to be super, and Denton also is in that tackle. So you got to be really careful on those.
Yeah, it's bouncing on the ground.
I would have let that one just bounce because it wasn't going to go that much further.
No, it was. It's bouncing on the ground. You've got a little bit of cold fingers there. I just don't pick that up if I'm Winnacunnet.
We're exactly on the 50-yard line. Winnacunnet with great field position.
So that's Eaton and McCann in the backfield, and we'll see what they do out of this two-back set again. And that's going to be a pitch option. And
he picks up like
Perry
6 yards.
But he gets a good gain there. Scott, I hear you say it so often. You don't want anyone in your secondary making tackles on the run. And if you're coming out of a set like this from Goffstown, you've got 2 outside linebackers. They're called roamers from this position. You want them getting those tackles, especially when it's an outside run. So Caden Perry getting that tackle, not what you want to see if you're Goffstown.
And I think Goffstown has good speed sideline to sideline. But, again, that there you're seeing the physicality of Winneconnet. They're a strong team, and they're showing it.
This one's going to be a run, too, Scott, as quarterback checks his sides. And,
But he picks up the first down and more.
And stumbles.
If he does not stumble, only Sasso and Honault are there to stop him. So that's a big first down for Winnacunnet. And right now, Winnacunnet looks like they have a little bit of momentum on their side.
I would agree with you, Scott. And I also think that you can almost credit a tackle to Nate Belanger there, who pushed his blocker back and kind of caused a little bit of misdirection on the run there from number 22. That would be Tucker McCann. Going to see the same set once again for Winnacunnet here. That same pitch option. So, he can't wrap up the legs there, Hinault, and he steps out of bounds.
So that's the key, is that you have to make open field tackles with these, and you're going to the wide open side of the field.
First thing that goes wrong there, Scott, you look at Uzi Empoyo on this replay, he commits to one player.
Yeah.
On that pitch option, you don't commit to one player. You stay in your zone, you set your feet, and you move laterally. You do not move up and down the field, and you sit. You sit on that play, and you let them make the bad decision. So first and down here, down and 10 rather.
At the 20-yard line.
For the Winnacunnet Warriors from the 20. So they're into that red zone here.
Impressive drive so far.
That one's going to go to Eaton again, and Capos can't make the tackle from his line position. And
you know what's interesting, what I'm seeing here is that
they're going to give him the first on that spot.
Goffstown, who I would say is a very, very good tackling team, is not tackling well today so far in these first 2 drives.
I totally agree with you, Scott. And I think you can credit that a little bit to the weather today. Not what we're used to seeing here in Goffstown. It's a lot cold, and it was not this cold during the week.
I think you got to also give credit to an athletic Winnacunnet offensive line, who's really, although they're giving up some size to Goffstown, athletically they're strong and they're fast.
Same 2-back set that we've seen all game. 2 different backs in the game, though.
Keeper by the quarterback. But again, another missed tackle. Like, it's crazy. That's like 2 or 3 missed tackles. So it's down to the 5-yard line.
So Matt Dalton isn't happy with himself there. He's hanging his head right now.
Well, you gave up a 5-yard run almost on that.
So
you know?
The thing is, though, I don't want to see Matt Dalton upset if I'm the other team.
Yeah.
He's a scary man to see, especially with a little bit of fire going on inside of him. So
this is a little reminiscent of last week against Bedford, where Goffstown was flat in that actually, I'd say first half.
I really hope that it's reminiscent of that Bedford game as they exploded in the last 3 quarters.
Well, Goffstown's got to figure out this triple option threat here, because so far
home. That's all you got to do right now. Sit at home, stay in your zone, and don't commit to one of the players. And that's exactly what Capos did there.
But he still picks up like 2 yards, so that's going to go down to the 2-yard line, maybe 3. They'll bring up a 3rd and goal.
So I like what Capos did there. He didn't run right at a player there. He kind of sat there, and he didn't even get blocked because he didn't run towards a player. He just wrapped him up and brought him down.
So I think Winnecunnet's they're going to take 4 downs for a touchdown here. So Goffstown's going to have to stop them. And, really, from what I've been hearing about Winnacunnet, is the turnover side of the ball. Is that they've fumbled quite a bit this year, and that's their story. Had Scott, they not,
you got 2 backs in the backfield. I love to see both middle linebackers come up here on a blitz, and then have the safeties stay home for the potential of a pass. And it's going to be that triple option. And fumble!
I called it.
And Goffstown recovers.
I called it.
Scott, what a play! In this section of the field, you can't do that if you're Winnacunnet, and that shifts the momentum entirely.
This is what I said. It's like Winnacunnet really buries themselves on turnovers. And
so, Scott, one of our players of the game last week, Jeremy Hinault, forces that fumble.
Yeah.
And then Seth Osborne picks it up. If you remember, in the 4th quarter last week, Seth Osborne had a pick 6 from his middle linebacker position. So great plays for both of them.
So Winnacunnet was on the doorstep, of Goffstown with a third down and goal on the 2-yard line. And now Goffstown is deep in. They have to be careful here. You want to get some positive yardage to get out of that bad part of the field.
Yeah. Scott, I like
fumble. That's going to be a safety or touchdown. Touchdown.
Oh my goodness, Scott.
So when do you see Picard fumble twice?
That's quite incredible.
So as relieved as Goffstown was, not anymore because they gave up a touchdown.
Not a good sight for Goffstown offensively at this point in the game, as they've had 2 failed drives, one now recovered for a touchdown on defense for Winnacunnet.
It does beg the question, when you're on your own 2-yard line, Broden, does the quarterback with a quarterback like Hinault, do you just keep it and try to get 2 or 3 yards to get out of the?
I like a play action pass there, Scott.
And that field goal, extra point is good. So Winnacunnet Warriors jump on a quick 7-0 lead. So they got bailed out on their fumble, and then Goffstown fumbles it for a touchdown.
Scott, if I'm one of those coaches on the sideline right now, I look at my players. I say, you know what? We've had 8 minutes transpire in this game. Do not hang your head.
Yeah.
Go if you are. Go look at the Bedford game last week, and please don't cry about it. We still got a whole lot of football left to play right now.
Well, I think the one thing that should be a bit concerning is, you've had now 2 fumbles by Zach Picard, who has not turned the ball over at all. And when you talk about coaches and their keys to the game, if you talk to Coach Hammond, he'll tell you turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, we'll win. So again, hopefully that'll be the last of it.
Scott, something interesting in practice, they were running a 2-back set with Uzi Empoyo and Zach Picard, so I'd love to see that them come out in something a little bit different that we haven't seen all season.
Or put guys in motion. That's what they did against Bedford. They put guys in motion.
You had
Caden Perry in motion.
Caden Perry and Jeremy Hinault both had some jet sweep type plays.
All right, let's see what Winneconnet does here. Do they kick it deep? And they
do. But that one's going to be to Caden Perry, who's going to take it himself, and he's got an angle to take it. Scott,
Great
he
block.
could get this one, and he gets out.
All right, Caden Perry with a nice return to about the 41-yard line, and he was patient, waiting for his block. So
yeah, he took a really nice angle, and he got around a corner, and now they're down at their 40, which this is completely converse to their starting field position last drive, which obviously didn't end up too well.
Well, if you look at it, Winneconnet started off on the 45-yard line and on the 50-yard line on their 2 drives. And Goffstown has started off way deep. So a little bit safer room to play here. But let's see what Goffstown does.
Scott, we're going to see a run on this first play, and then next play we're going to see another deep pass, I think. That's my call here. Keeper here from Hinault, and he's got 2 or 3, and maybe.
And Hinault picks up about 3 yards on that.
So I think that play, you kind of give Caden Perry and your other receivers who are also your return specialists a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And now I like going deep here as Picard also is set out wide, which we've never seen.
Yeah, but this could be a what you call it, like we said, one of those screen plays.
A screen play, a tunnel screen probably. Yeah. And that looks like the hand motion coming from Jared Hinault. And it's not. He's running it. It is. Oh, it is.
It is.
But
great block
it's to Jonah Lopez.
Oh, what a great defensive play by Winneconnet.
Yeah, really good play. That's by number 24 there, Matthew Alkire.
What a great play by Alkire.
And Jonah Lopez is not happy with the outcome of that play, it looks like. And they're going to set out Zach Picard wide once again, this time on the close side of the field. Scott, again, I'd love to see Caden Perry deep here. He's done so great on that.
Well, they've only thrown the ball, once?
Once, now twice on that screen.
Yeah, so.
Empty backfield. And they're going to look Caden Perry's way immediately, and that's a catch.
That's what I'm saying. I know this sounds a little bit crazy, Broden, but Winnacunnet is looking for the run and the read option, right?
Oh.
And maybe Goffstown just starts to be a passing team because they have the receivers to do it. Open the field up, because right now Winnacunnet is really keying in on the run.
And we're going to see a wide receiver screen here eventually to Zach Picard as he's coming out wide, and we haven't seen that at all. Hand signals coming in from Coach Hammond himself out to Jared Hinault.
Seen a lot of different looks here. So you got 5 receivers, Hinault in motion.
I like this handoff here, and he's going to keep it rather, and that's a first down for Goffstown.
Yeah, so he picks up a first. That's a beautiful play by Coach Hammond. I think they really need to put Winnacunnet on their heels a little bit. And Winneconnet defensively, I think, was dominating on that first drive.
Yeah, Scott, I really like setting out Picard wide here. It's a really interesting thing to do because he's a physical player, and if you do end up running one of these jet sweeps, you've got an extra blocker there who's
I
quite
agree.
good. This one's going to be a keeper to Hinault, who shakes a tackle, and he stretches out for another first down.
He's about a half yard shy, I think.
You sure about that one, Scott?
I think so.
Okay. I agree with you.
But look how they're going hurry up. That's another thing.
Yeah.
They're going hurry up. And this again, is a little reminiscent of last week where they gave up a touchdown and came back.
For a game so reliant on the big men in the trenches, this one's going to be tough to catch up for either team.
I would agree.
Goffstown's going to go hurry up this entire time. Keeper here for Hinault, and he's going to stretch out and get the first down this
time. It's close.
Nah, he's got it, Scott.
It's close. I think he's going to be shy again.
I got to stop jinxing it, don't I?
They're going to call the chain gang in.
Yeah, they're gonna measure this one, Scott.
Yeah, they're going to measure it. I think it's a football or two shy, my opinion. But
we'll check our goals here. They're going to put it at the spot where the tackle happened, which I like seeing there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a football, maybe two. So if you're Goffstown, you're calling two plays here, okay?
Yeah.
Third down play and a fourth down play.
Yep.
And then as soon as you get in the field, hurry up. There is no.
This is where I think we see a quick little bubble screen to Zach Picard.
I say no. Yep, a football.
Good call, Scott.
So I think this is another Jarrett Hinault.
Keeper?
Yeah, keeper. I mean,
like
he's 6'3". I don't know. He's probably about 220.
Yeah, somewhere around.
I think
probably a little bit less than that.
All right,
I don't know if I'd put him up in the 200s.
He's a big kid.
He's a big kid.
And
I like seeing a different set coming out here. Yeah, we've got Cooper Flanagan, who kind of plays a fullback position type. We need they're calling for a different football.
So 3rd down and 1 on a. There's so many key plays in these football games. This is definitely one of them.
This is so much less than a yard, Scott.
I do think, though, this is 4th down territory, so I do quarterback keeper, no exchanges, you know.
Yeah. We got a "Here we go, Goffstown" chant, which is not what you want to hear coming from an offensive position, but yep, keeper here for Hinault, and he stretches for more than he needs, and that's going to be good for a Goffstown first down.
It's the safest play. There's no exchange.
I finally got it right, Scott.
Yeah.
So Jerry Hinault's going to come in for a substitution for
So that'll
Cooper
be
Flanagan.
spotted at about the 21-yard line for a 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies. And I think what you're seeing here is just a lot of different offensive sets for Goffstown, trying to keep them off balance. Now they're going back into their typical 3 receivers, top of your screen.
This is going to be a keeper here from Hinault, and
they can't tackle him.
He's rumbling down for 3-4 extra yards after
carried
after the contact
number.
there.
I'm trying to think who his get his jersey number.
I think that was
38.
38. Okay.
Yeah.
So Scott, we're going to see this 2-back position that I was talking about that we saw in warm-ups, but I really like something that I've seen a lot is Jonah Lopez's release. He gets off the line really well, really smoothly.
Will they run a play before the clock ticks here?
We're down to 7 seconds, and we could see a little bubble pass opportunity from Uzi Empoyo, and Zach Picard tries to bounce out.
He does.
And cut back in,
free.
And he gets a first.
And he gets tackled at about the 5-yard line to end the first quarter.
Scott, how does he do it?
I don't know.
How does he do it? I thought he was 1 yard, maybe even a loss there, and he somehow squirts out for a first down. There's a big mass of bodies there, and he slips through.
I think when you look at a player like Zach Picard, a true professional in the sense that he knows what his role is, and I'm sure he's a little disappointed that he's coughed the ball up a couple of times. But this is his opportunity to redeem himself, and I think he showed it right there where he picked up 5 yards where there was nothing.
Yeah, Scott, especially in a game like this where it's going to get so physical, it's great to know your role as a player. You don't want to be a hero. You don't want to try and put yourself in a position that won't be beneficial for the team.
Yeah.
So,
and what we don't know here is we don't know the level of conditioning of the Winnacunnet Warriors. We do know the level of conditioning for the Grizzlies, and we do know that when it comes to the third and fourth quarter, they seem to get stronger.
Yeah.
But that's not to discount that Winnacunnet may also be a very similar team where they're physically fit and they're going to,
Yeah, Scott,
do well.
you look at common opponents though for Winnacunnet. You look at Memorial. That's
Right.
the biggest one. They
Yeah.
were the first team to hand Memorial a loss this season, which isn't speaking to much,
Yeah.
but it was a 14-0 victory. Manchester Memorial's coach, in fact, said in the paper, 21 is the golden number.
Yeah, well,
if this Goffstown team can score 21 points, he thinks it's going to be a win.
I also want to keep in mind, though, that Winnacunnet put up 7 points on a turnover. So it's those types of things you got to be mindful of. It's not like they scored an offensive touchdown.
But as of right now, Scott, that offense has been grinding, and then it hasn't succeeded.
I think you talk about keys to the game. It's always turnovers, and both these teams have had them. So it's first and goal at the 6-yard line. You're going to have Uzi
and Poyo. You got Will Sasso and Caden Perry on the far side of the field as well, split out wide. And this one's going to go to Picard, who's got the outside, and Uzi is a blocker, and he steps out at about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, it's hard to see where he stepped out, and we apologize. These are tough angles for us.
I'll try and use
for GTV, so you're going to have to stay back.
What you like to call, Scott, young eyes.
Yes.
I'll try and use my young eyes and see if I can get a better spot.
So Goffstown picked up 2 yards on that carry.
Scott, I'd like to see a zone weak run here. You've got 3 wide receivers on one side, and it's going to be a keeper rather. And stretching out, he's got to about the 1-yard line.
They whistle it up at the 1, and it was interesting there because you had Goffstown offensive linemen pushing the pile.
Yeah, I do think, however, Scott, his forward progress was stopped by his own account.
So it's on the 1.5-yard line. It looks like, with your young eyes, right?
Yeah, the 1-yard line. That's what Al Halpern is saying.
So it's
at
a
least.
third, and I think Goffstown is going to. This is another one very similar to Winnacunnet where they coughed it up right here.
Yeah.
This will be 2-down territory to push it through. And look at Lopez on a quick slant here.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of rushers here for Winnacunnet, and they're gonna blast to the outside, he's got it for a touchdown. That's Jared Hinault on the quarterback keeper for a touchdown. What a play, Scott.
So, again, very similar to last week where Goffstown gives up a touchdown and they come right back on a very impressive drive.
Yeah, I really like that play call there. You give Jared Hinault exactly what he's been doing so well all year. And, I mean, he's been successful. And as so far, at least in this game, we haven't seen him stop him.
And the extra point looks good.
So, Scott, I'll knock on wood here, but Ethan Bradley, our kicker, since the first game against Bedford.
Oh, no, don't say it. He's done very well.
He's done very well. He's done very well.
Missed a couple of games, but he's done extremely well with kicking extra points. And now let's see what Goffstown does on the kickoff, because they gave up 25 yards on that last kickoff return. Do they do a squib kick again?
So what I think here, Scott, is you turn to Ethan Bradley, who's been doing so well.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. And you say, put it as high up as possible.
Yeah.
Let your runners go run underneath it.
Yeah, or a squib kick.
Or a squib kick.
Right. And I think
what you want to do as Goffstown is let the people who are going to make the tackle get downfield. Whether that's 20 yards downfield or 40, we'll see here, Scott.
So a spectacular game here at Goffstown High School between the Winnacunnet Warriors and the Goffstown Grizzlies, all tied up 7-7 with 11 minutes to play until the half. Let's see what
playoff
Goffstown
matchup
does
here so far, Scott.
Yeah. 2 great teams. And it's a deep one.
It is a deep one. That one is a little low. Not what I liked there.
Hinault.
And he's got the outside angle, and Picard isn't going to wrap him up.
Yeah, this is the problem.
Ooh, what a hit, though, by Mikey Levesque.
But this is what uncharacteristic where we're not making tackles. So, once again, they've got the ball at the 45-yard line. And I think if you're Coach Hammond, you got to start thinking about kick it out of bounds maybe, and they'll get the ball at the 35, but you're giving up too much.
Yeah, Scott, I just said it was a good hit, but it was a good hit, not a good tackle.
No.
You didn't wrap him up in the open field, but you were able to knock him in.
Picard had him at the 38-yard line,
yeah,
perhaps?
somewhere around there, and he couldn't wrap him up.
So you got one receiver high. At the, that would be
number 6.
Elin Houston. Up the middle, handoff. But again, they see how they push the pile?
Yeah.
So it's a very quick handoff. I think they've got to put more backers.
I think so. I think I agree with you as well, and I think.
And then here's the other thing too is that they're moving our defensive line 2 or 3 yards off the ball. So it's like at some point our big boys have to start pushing back.
Yeah.
Not so much look to make the tackle, but just look to stand them up. Let the linebackers make the tackle.
A bull rush type play, Scott. And that one almost there. So
I'll tell you, I had a really good look at the ball. We were in the neutral zone, by the way. Just saying. So that's a first down for the Warriors. And again, Capos comes out of the game.
For someone who's been so good this year, Scott, I take a look at Uzi's performance today. He needs to sit in his spot. He committed to the quarterback there, which is great because you could cause a fumble in that position.
Yeah.
But you need to sit at home if you are
a little
Uzi
bit more of the discipline. And now they're square in the middle of the field with 2 wide receivers to the far sides of the sidelines. That's going to be.
If you're Goffstown, you have to watch the ball here. They do that thing where that we saw Bedford do in the first week where they switch hands, which is 100% legal. But you just have to watch the ball and not get too anxious.
And it wasn't as if one Grizzly did it.
No,
3 of them
They all did it up front there.
So that will be offsides by Goffstown. So that'll be a first down and 5.
So, Scott, that's pretty much what we would expect to see them on first down. But now they get it back, and it's a 1st and 5 rather than a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, which is critical. They have had no answer for that play.
No.
Absolutely no answer.
And I think that starts with the boys up front. We've said it quite often.
No, what I'm trying to say is it's the quick handoff where, the running back is not even maybe 2 yards, 3 yards from the line, and it's almost like a fullback type run, and he's going to the same spot.
Yep. So, Scott, that starts with the boys up front. You look at somebody who's been really good against the run all year. That's Nate Belanger.
But do you gap it differently, or I guess what I'm trying to say is you got to change something up. This is an adjustment.
I think you stack your men, Scott. So you put somebody behind these guys that are getting run all over right now.
Option.
He's going to keep it himself.
It's going to be a hold.
Hold though. That's a
number 87 is going to get a hold on that one.
Scott, I do like,
and and here to list, it's a hold where the spot is. So
so that's going to set him way back.
It'll be a 10 yards from probably the 34-yard line.
Yeah, that was on the pretty much tackle of Uzi and Poyo.
But here's the thing: he didn't need to do it.
No,
the quarterback was like 5-10 yards away. Didn't make sense.
Number 17, that's the quarterback, Kyle Tilley, comes over and he asks the coach, "What was that for?" And the coach was like, "No, that's a good call."
Yeah, it was a good call, but it was just so unnecessary.
And Kyle Tilley kind of hung his head a little bit there. I just had a good
run.
run.
This bodes well for Goffstown if they can stop the run here, but they haven't been able to do it.
I think we see our first pass of the day here from Winnacunnet, trying to get it all
Mikey
back at once.
My glasses just fogged up.
Oh, this is going to be that outside option.
Well, when you give up these 8 and 10 yard runs, sorry Goffstown D, but you're not doing it right now. You can't give up 10 yards on a 1st and 20 and expect to win a game.
No,
can't.
You have your best opportunity here to get a substantial loss, and you don't capitalize from Goffstown here.
And we got a substitution problem. That'll be a flag. Why is there a flag?
So he was so the flag there, Scott,
was nothing. He just wanted to.
No, I think what actually happened was they're getting a warning.
A warning
for having too many people crowd the sideline.
Right. Well, you can't. You have to stay behind the line.
Yeah.
If you're the coach. And I heard them talk about that in the pregame.
It wasn't the coach there, Scott. It was the player that was that was coming on to sub.
So
I think
second down and 11. Handoff up the middle, another huge gap.
What a hit by Jeremy Hinault, though.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They're giving up 7 yards.
Again, you've got a member of the secondary tackling in that secondary position. You don't want them to be your primary.
So who would have thought, right? You got a 1st down and 20. You run 2 running plays, and now you're in a 3rd and 1 position. I mean, if you're the Goffstown coaching staff, you've got to figure this defense out.
Scott, we could see another turnover here as this has plagued this Winnacunnet offense so much, even though they've been performing quite well.
They've been studs so far on offense. Pass play.
This is going to be a pass, and they're going to lob that one up towards Mikey. That's a push-off if I've ever seen one, Scott. But it doesn't matter.
Great defense by Levesque. He had perfect positioning, and it wasn't really a well-thrown ball either.
No.
It was an up-for-grabs ball, but Levesque had great position.
Number 6 had his hands right around that number 1 on the back of Mike Levesque's jersey that entire time.
I love the call by Winnacunnet because they know that they can pretty much rush the ball down, and Goffstown has not been able to stop him.
No. So what I really like there from Mikey Levesque, really smart play, is to turn around. You see so many players draw these defensive pass interference from not turning around to go get the ball.
So look for number 24 for the quick handoff.
Yeah, he's
over that left side again. That's what they've been doing all game long.
Big body lined up in the backfield, so we're going to see him get this one.
Or maybe
try to draw him off sides. That one doesn't prevail this time.
And he gets it. So again, this is much better in terms of Goffstown slowing them down. But when you give up, you just couldn't have, Broden. You can't give up that 10-yard rip on the 1st and 20,
no.
Then another 7 yards or 8 yards on the second, and you
got to have discipline if you're the Goffstown defense. You can't come in and only have priority on these late down situations. You have to treat 1st down like you would a 3rd or 4th down.
Now, let's look at some keys to the game. Winnacunnet is keeping the Goffstown offense off the field. Okay?
But they're also, Scott, keeping them on the field as there's a lot of players that run both ways.
Right. So it gets the offensive tired if you're keeper. Great
pitch, but that's not going to work for him.
Yeah, he loses about 4 yards. So now the sun comes out at Goffstown High School. Maybe that'll be an omen. That was their first pretty good defensive play. If you're Goffstown, they strung that play out and had good run support.
So Scott, Uzi Employo kind of stayed home there and forced probably a bad decision as he ended up losing 2 extra yards on the pitch. So first good defensive play. You said it, Scott, for Goffstown.
Yeah, they have not done well.
Maybe they can chain together some good ones from here on out as we see them come up in the exact same set that we've seen all game for Winnacunnet. A pitch to number 24.
And Hinault is right there. So Hinault stays his ground.
And
Osborne again in on the tackle.
So we've seen a great shift here from Goffstown as we see Hinault, who I think on that tackle gives up a good, 90 pounds, Scott. 24 for Winnacunnet. That would be Matthew Alkire, is a big body coming out of that backfield. Jeremy Hinault just doesn't really care in that situation and puts him on the ground. So,
again, high school football, it's a 3rd down and 14, but the field position is such that you're going to probably go for it. You can't kick 45-yard field goals here.
No. You look to see another outside option as the quarterback's going to go shotgun for the first time.
It's a pass play.
The same one. That's going to be batted down. Really great play twice now from Mikey Levesque.
Mikey Levesque is all on an island, man. I'm telling you. You talk about courage. I mean, there's no help.
The only thing is, Scott, he goes for the ball there, which I think is the incorrect play to make, as the ball is still bobbled once or twice after the forced
well, Levesque has had, 3
defense.
interceptions this season?
Yeah, somewhere around there, I believe. But the thing is, I don't like playing the ball there. Play the man, go up, make that ball 50-50, and you're probably more likely to come down with an interception.
So the crowd is shouting a little bit of defense, not a whole lot. So it's a 4th down and 14 in the 26-yard line. Goffstown's probably facing a pass play here, but maybe it'll be another option.
Shotgun
it
snap
will be
again. That's a fault.
Not
that should be a false start. Will Sasso, and that one's going to be batted down by Caden Perry. Really great play.
Goffstown will take over on downs
Scott,
after that good defensive play.
Hear me out. That's a false start on Winnacunnet. The back on the right side, I believe that was I believe that was number 3, Tilly. Number 3. That's Eaton. He came out of the backfield like a half a step too quick, and that's a false start normally. But it works in Goffstown's favor either way, as we see 2 good pass defended plays.
So if I'm Goffstown here, Broden, this is one where you really want a nice long drive and get a score. You're going to get the ball again in the second half kickoff. So
you've got that term 4-minute offense where you try and ground out 4 minutes of offense, but this one I think is that 5-minute and 24-second version of that.
Try to grind something out, get some things going here.
First down. That's a quick pass to Jeremy Hinault, and that's bobbled a couple times.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful throw. I mean,
that's a really.
I tell you, Jarrett Hinault, his arm is on today.
Yeah.
The throw to Perry was spot on. That was spot on. And Goffstown's had the dropsies today.
Yeah, I think if you're going into that pitched up tent over there for Goffstown in replace of the locker room, you're trying to warm these receivers up coming into halftime, as that hasn't been done so far. In motion, that's Caden Perry, and he's going to end up with the handoff as he takes it to the outside.
What did he do there? He only just he must have slipped.
So I think he slipped as he doesn't make the right read there, and he gets maybe a yard.
He didn't get anything. That's now going to be a 3rd and 10. And
I will say, I believe that was Sasso. Was that Sasso on the block? Really good block.
Yeah.
If you can make it around that corner next time, Caden, I think you got 6 or 7 yards there.
Well, it's a pass play now, no doubt.
3rd and maybe a long 9.
Able to block for him.
And he's going to take off with this. He's got a chance for it, and he's going to get it.
He's going to get it.
As he lowers his shoulder, and he gets the first down.
Almost a late hit there by number 7.
So the thing is there, Scott, that contact was initiated by Jared Hinault, so that's a choice that comes down to the referee.
But when he went down, I thought it was a late. He dove, and I think the guy came on after him. But so that was a real big play by Jared Hinault.
Once again, the sun's coming back out for Goffstown here, and it's in the opposite position. So a little bit of a
challenge for us here.
A little challenge here
on the camera. Definitely a defensive battle, no doubt about it.
Yeah. It's going to be a quick pass to Zach Picard, who's got a couple blockers, Scott, and he breaks a couple tackles, and he's going to get a first down.
I love that play. Love the play.
So when that play sets up perfectly, it is exactly that perfect.
Yeah.
And you get almost guaranteed 10 yards because you've got those big bodies like Capos running downfield.
But more importantly, I think it keeps the Winneconnet Warriors thinking about what the play is going to be.
This one's going to go to Caden Perry, and he's finally got that outside, but
he loses a yard. Yeah,
really great play by 88. That's Zachary
fast.
Fredericks.
Yeah. So that's a loss of a yard on that jet sweep, and that's always the fear, because if you have fast linebackers who can break free, you'll lose yardage on those jet sweeps. And I think what you're seeing there is that's just Winnecunnet's athleticism on defense.
Words at the line exchange here from Jonah Lopez and his man, as we could see something downfield, but that's going to be a check down to Zach Picard, who's got some open field, and he steps out of bounds after gaining the first down on the check down play.
There was nobody around him.
No one.
So that's just creative play calling by Coach Hammond. Having an outlet there.
Yeah. That's very New England of it, Scott. That's something Tom Brady likes to do a lot, is he's not here, but in his tenure with the Patriots, that was quite often the play.
That'll be Picard up the middle, and he. One thing I noticed, there's no wonder that Picard might have coughed the ball up, because Winneconnet is going for the ball.
Yeah.
One guy kind of wraps up, the other guy is throwing his arm in there.
And they don't even throw arms; they dive at the ball.
Yeah. So Picard picks up 4, 2nd and 6 at the 21.
Handoff to Picard here, who sheds a tackle, and he's got a lane.
He trips,
stumbles down at the 5.
So he got hurt. He's hurt. He is hurt.
This is not something you want to see if you're Goffstown, as Zach Picard is arguably Actually, not even arguably, probably one of the best backs in the state.
Yeah, and this is an ankle or his calf, so he might have pulled something.
He's getting up in his own power, and he's a little ginger there, Scott. So
he's going off on his own power. So
best wishes to Picard, but he is a rugby player, and
he's a pretty tough guy.
He's a nitty-gritty player. He's physical, and I think we hope for the best, and we hope he'll be back for this second half.
So who's going to play running back here? That's the key.
Uzi and Poyo probably.
Yeah.
And he does, in fact, come out. But you know what? Running back doesn't matter in this set. Jared Hinault's going to get the ball 4 times, and he's going to get it in one of them.
All right. Well, I hope you're right. So it's 1st and goal at the 5-yard line with 2.5 left in the half.
In motion, that's Caden Perry. Keeper here for Hinault.
He gets spun, and he doesn't get anything on that. See, I actually like a pass play here because
I do too.
I think that they're all keying in on the run.
Yeah, you're probably true. But if you're going to pass it here, you do not throw it over the middle because they are all keying in on that run. But you're going to see more people over the middle, especially when you've got a restriction there with the back of the goal. So
we got about a minute 50.
Uzi and Poyo is going to get the handoff. He cuts
he doesn't get it,
and he's going to get down to the 1
or 2 yard line.
There's a nice little jump cut there from Uzi and Poyo. I really like that one.
And Cooper Flanagan comes in the game, and
along
it's Picard
with
back.
Picard.
So 3rd and 2, and
they're calling a timeout, Scott.
Who is?
That's Winnacunnet screaming timeout.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm thinking there. Winneconnet's scared to see Zach Picard back on the field, whether he's a little ginger on that right leg of his.
Well, because you have to respect the handoff there, but
you have to respect Zach Picard as a player.
Yeah, so let's play hypotheticals here. It's 3rd down and goal at the 2-yard line. Let's just say that Goffstown does not get it, and they don't even get to the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's say it's 3rd and 2 again, 4th and 2. Do you kick? Do you take the 3 points, knowing that you're getting the ball back?
I think if you do, you run the clock all the way down, Scott.
Yeah. But what do you think? What would you do if you're Coach Hammond?
You know what?
I think I take the points.
I take the points as well.
Yeah.
I think
because I think that's an extra point almost for our kicker.
It's an extra point times 3, pretty much.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying in terms of the length.
Yeah.
So Winnacunnet here calls a timeout, and they've played a spectacular game. And I think on both sides of the ball, Broden.
I totally agree with you,
I think
Scott.
if anything, they have challenged Goffstown. This is the most difficult team that Goffstown has faced this year. I think. I do. I think their physicality, they're the most physical team.
I think going into it, not yet. Not exactly, because going into it, we thought Bedford was going to be a 50-50 game. We thought that was going to be a pretty even matchup.
I think this is a 50-50 game.
But I think now, seeing Winnacunnet actually play against Goffstown, I do agree with you.
Yeah, to me, this is the most physical team, very well disciplined. I'm super impressed with Winnacunnet.
Yeah, they've come out and played a great game so far. This is a tight formation. You've got Perry and Sasso on the same side. I like to see a little bit of a stick play here from Goffstown. Keeper here from Hinault, and he's going to rumble his way in for a touchdown.
And he actually after he crossed, he got pushed in the back. But a touchdown by Hinault, and that's his second one. So he's got a 1-yard run and a 2-yard run.
Mixing it up a little bit, Scott.
Yeah. I tell you, we always talk about like all-state accolades, and I know it's something that some players look forward to, and there's so many players on Goffstown I think are just having spectacular years, and Jared Hinault, he kind of rises to the top there. He's the leader of this team, is one of the captains. You saw last week when they trailed by Bedford, he came back and he had anger.
Yeah.
Anger in his eyes.
And as a friend of Jared Hinault, I don't see that all that often from him. You don't see Jared Hinault show much emotion, Scott.
Yeah, so, okay, this will be now the third kickoff, right? So Goffstown kicked it off initially, and it was a 25-yard return to the 45-yard line. They scored a touchdown. Same exact thing happened. At what point do you kick to the sidelines?
Yeah, pretty soon, I'd say, Scott. But the thing is,
How many times do you get burned? You go 3 times you get burned?
You're gonna get the ball at the half here, Scott. Normally when you talk about a prevent defense, you talk about pass. I think right now if you're Goffstown, you go prevent defense for the run.
Oh, I agree, because Winnacunnet is, we're not keeping stats here, but I think they're averaging like 6 yards on a run, if not more. And he kicks it deep again.
It's going to bounce a couple times, which should set up a nice opportunity for Goffstown. And
he got a tackle, and he almost eluded that tackle. So 31-yard line.
So Scott, hear me out. They ran 10 seconds off the clock with that return. Do you even want to do that if you're Winnacunnet? Because that's a play. That's play downfield.
I hear you.
Do we see Winneconnet here take a shot and try and get the touchdown?
You do. Of course you do. But
so then, do you try and attempt the return in that? Well, because the returns have been quite successful.
I think if you're Winnacunnet, I throw one deep ball right here, and then after that I run the ball a couple of times.
I think you run the ball now, and then you throw a deep ball so you key in for the run. But they are going to see 4 wide as an end-around option. And way to stay home by Uzi and Pollo as he's going to get wrapped up.
Goffstown, do you call a timeout there or no?
No, you let this clock run down, Scott.
You're happy with the lead. And
you let Winnacunnet take that timeout.
All right.
And you let this clock run if you're Goffstown.
They were looking to sub Halpern, and they better do that quick. You better hurry up.
And Ryan, and he does. He gets off. Ryan Cody was giving him the come home sign.
That was a hold.
And that's going to be an interception by Caden Perry. Look to return here if you're Caden. And a good block by Mikey Levac.
That is such a bad call.
They're going to call a block in the back. I hate that call, Scott.
That's a horrible call, and I say that because he had his helmet in front of him.
Yeah, so Scott, that is solely side-to-side contact.
That is side-to-side. That is a horrible call.
And you know what? If we're looking at the replay here, the Winnacunnet player is standing almost straight up.
Yeah.
He's not defenseless at that point. I don't agree with this call whatsoever.
You could almost make an argument that who intercepted that one? It was
Caden Perry,
right?
That's a punt.
If he went to the short side of the field, he'd get to the 50 or 45, and with about 35 seconds left. So
yeah.
So now what do you do if you're Goffstown? Do you chuck it up? I say yes.
I say yeah. So Scott, the thing is,
I say yes. I think we got the receivers to do it.
Yeah. I like Jonah Lopez in this situation.
Yeah.
Jonah Lopez, you just throw deep to him.
Or look at what they're doing. They're playing a total prevent defense. So they've got a safety who's on the
screen to Zach Picard.
Correct.
For the love of all that is good and great.
Yeah.
Screen to Zach Picard. I love that play here as well. But
so let's see what defense they're playing. They're playing very much a prevent.
This is pretty much punt coverage from Winneconnet here as they've got their return deep.
So they're willing to give up like a 10-yard run here. There's no doubt.
And he cuts it to the outside. Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds if you're Zach Picard. And
call a timeout for Goffstown. Timeout
that's
for
got to be a timeout
at
for
18
Goffstown.
seconds. So now they're at the 50.
This is where you take your shot, Scott.
No, this is where you try to do exactly what you just did and pick up 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
And then for a high school quarterback, not a Hail Mary is more like from the 35 to 40, just for what it's worth.
I'd also like to see here you go run the play first, and then if there's nothing there, kind of throw it to the ground, and then see what you're going to have set up if you're Goffstown taking a deep shot. So
with 18 seconds left, you're looking at maybe 3 plays tops. You know.
Yep.
Maybe Goffstown has 2 more timeouts.
Yeah.
So I think this is where, honestly, you have to throw the ball because you can't. It's too much clock that gets eaten up. At least on an incomplete pass clock, you can, we'll stop, that type of thing.
Yeah, you're not going to see any passes over the middle, which Goffstown has been so apt to all year. What I like here, Scott, out routes. You run towards the sideline, make a quick cut if you're one of the receivers. You run an out route, and
you got to do whatever you're doing if you're Goffstown. It's got to be smart. You can't fumble the ball here and have a pick six. You can't do anything dumb.
And if you do want to get those 3 plays like you were talking about, you don't want to waste the timeout just yet, because that's going to end up changing it up a little bit. Jared Hinault from the shotgun. This one's going to be a quick pass to Caden Perry. That was out in front of him a little bit. Got to get out of bounds, though. He's got to get out.
And
he slips out. He does.
So now you got 2 more plays with 12.7 seconds left. These plays are chewing up about 6 seconds or so.
Yeah, Scott, look at the speed there.
I know.
From Caden Perry. He got 10 yards like in a blink of an eye. Really great play from Caden Perry. Got the fans calling out 12 seconds here, as there's 12.7 on the clock here for the Grizzlies. Shotgun with Zach Picard back for Jared Hinault, and another quick pass to Caden Perry, who... Timeout as fast as possible for Goffstown.
Hello? We have a really bad clock operator here in Goffstown, because that thing... He was down at around 7 seconds.
They're trying to call. They're trying to call a holding there. Winnecunnet's calling for a holding, and Scott, I don't justify it in any chance here, but I think that's a makeup for that missed block in the back. I think that
referees don't do this stuff. They don't do makeups.
I don't know.
But this is not like a teacher who's failed the class. Oh, let's do a makeup quiz. It doesn't work like that.
I don't know, Scott. I don't know. I think there could be a good case made for holding there.
All right, well, but do you think you got to go deep ball? I mean, that this is it. This is 6 seconds. It's called a deep ball to the end zone.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Will Sasso for this, because he's the guy who can get up. He leaps.
Yeah. He's a basketball player, Scott.
And quite honestly, I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but put in Mikey Levesque. This guy can get up there too.
Yeah, I like that play. But you know what? You know who Goffstown misses a lot in this situation?
Who?
Peyton Strickland.
No, I agree. Well, yeah, he'd be your basketball player.
He'd be the 6'3" wide receiver you split out wide.
I'm just hoping to see Sasso.
Sasso is out there.
And I would just put them all on one side and throw the ball up.
I like Jonah Lopez in this situation, Scott, because he's going to get one-on-one coverage as the safety's going to pull to help the 3 receivers far side rather.
Yeah, Lopez, you're right.
He rolls out that direction, and Lopez takes a crossing route. Jared Hinault, that's going to be a sack. And
that's it. That'll do it.
That is it. That's going to send us to half here.
Okay, a silly question here, right? But why don't you just throw the ball up? What is the harm in that, throwing the ball up into the end zone?
I think that the thing there is, Scott,
return?
If you're maybe a turnover, but I think throwing the ball and getting hit while you're throwing the ball is a good risk for injury.
Yeah, okay.
So a little bit of pocket awareness from Hinault.
I'm not blaming Hinault. I'm talking about the play calling. It's like we didn't take a deep ball threat at all.
Yeah.
So with that, Goffstown will go in with a 14-7 lead at halftime, and we will see you folks back in the second half. And we're live for the second half. We've got about less than 3 minutes before the second half kickoff. Goffstown leads 14-7 on a really tough battle here between the Winnacunnet Warriors and the Grizzlies. And I think, the key here for the Grizzlies is they get the ball back. They're going to get the kickoff here as they deferred. They won the coin toss and they deferred. And if they're able to put together a strong drive and perhaps score a touchdown, I think that'll make life difficult for the Winnacunnet Warriors. This team seems to be a very run-oriented team, and it's hard to come back when you're down a couple of scores if you are predominantly a run team. So we're waiting for Broden McCune to come back to the Crow's Nest. But so far, the Grizzlies have been a little uncharacteristic. And I say that in that first half, there's a couple of things that were uncharacteristic. An overall very good tackling team missed tackles. An overall good run defense team gave up a lot of yards to the Winneconnet run. And then the last thing that was uncharacteristic was drop balls. So Jarrett Hinault threw some pretty good balls to his receivers, and they were dropped. So look for Goffstown, and then last but not least would be the fumble. So we have not seen Picard fumble all season long, and he coughed up two. One was for a touchdown, and the other one was recovered by the Grizzlies. So I think this is where if Goffstown can recover from what I would consider a lot of mistakes that they just are uncharacteristically that just don't make, then I think they'll do well in the second half. So what do you think, Broden?
Well, I just did a little bit of a mad dash down to the studio.
Good thing that you're young and have good legs.
I got back in time, thankfully. I'll probably be gasping for breath a little bit. Yeah. Kept the mask on the entire time. So I think right now, whatever we see after this kickoff, this drive is completely critical to Goffstown and their success later on in the game. So coming out, you just want to see your best football played out of this halftime.
So
break.
Shaky will kick off for Winnacunnet, and back is who is that?
The trio plus Jeremy Hinault. This one's going to be a line drive to Hinault.
Now they do the dealer play.
He's going to give it to Levesque, and Levesque's got an angle.
Levesque's got a lot of speed.
He could go all the way, and he's down.
No, he's not down.
35.
Mike Levesque.
What a play by Mikey Levesque.
Mikey Levesque with a massive return. And you know what? The speed on Levesque. I'm telling you, I've been saying this forever, is that, Levesque has been a defensive, player, I think, and one of the best defensive players. He's all alone at corner. But, man, he played wide receiver sophomore year, and he hasn't had an opportunity to – there's so many great receivers on this team, but he's got the speed.
Yeah, Scott, really great return, and it's the tale of two halves here as Winnacunnet did just that in the start of the game, and we're going to see Goffstown now have a chance on offense as Jarrett Hinault falls forward for about 6.
Yeah, and you say that really appropriately, falls forward.
Yeah.
Like he really it seems like every opportunity, he doesn't really get stood up. He always seems to pick up positive yardage.
Yeah, he keeps moving, Scott. He uses momentum to his benefit there. Scott, it is quite cold. We talked about it. I'm starting to numb up a little bit here.
I got gloves in my bag if you'd like them.
Oh, I love those, Scott.
Well, give me a second. Stoppage of play. We'll give them to you. Picard, he gets gobbled up quick. And he loses a yard.
That's going to be a loss there on that run.
But this is 3rd and 4th down territory. And if you look behind you in a bag, there should be a pair of gloves.
Awesome.
Just try to locate them.
Going to ruffle through it here.
Yeah, this I saw you found one.
So. I found one, but I'm also on the iPad, so I have to keep one hand handy.
And we're going to get an officials timeout
here.
Which is good for you because that gives you the opportunity to get the other glove on.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stick my hands in the hoodie, Scott, as I still need to reach out and do the iPad.
Screen.
Dump off here to Picard, who levels a man. And
we got a flag.
He's going to push forward.
And let's see what that is. Usually that's offensive from that area, so that could be a hold.
I think what that's going to be classified as is a pass interference or a legal man downfield, something along those lines, seeing as probably somebody got to their block a little bit early.
Let's see. Holding.
They're going to call it a holding, which I'm...
Now, this is devastating for Goffstown, and I say that because the flag is on the 28, 29-yard line. Go back 10 yards from there. Now you're on the 39-yard line, and you've got to get to the 24. So you're talking about a 3rd and 15.
Yeah, officially, Scott, this one's going to be a third and about 16.
Yeah, so that's a really big penalty if you're the Grizzlies. And
we're going to see another pass play here, Scott,
you haven't
without
seen
a doubt.
A whole lot of play. Maybe they're nervous about an interception over the middle.
Yeah.
But Goffstown's been successful with the passes over the middle. That's a deep
Great
ball.
step off the line early from Caden Perry.
And he's caught it. It was a wobbly pass, but he catches it off the turf.
And the Winneconnet coaches are trying to say that hit the turf, but our replay will tell you exactly the opposite, folks. Caden Perry was down low even before the pass got there, as he's going to get the first down. Really great play from Perry. Quick out to one Hunault brother from the other, and touchdown. He's going to stretch out.
I think that's a touchdown.
For a touchdown, Scott. That is the third week in a row we've seen Hunault to Hunault connection on a touchdown pass from Jarrett to Jeremy. Brotherly love right there, Scott. You really love to see two brothers connecting there, as it looks like we're going to see Ethan Bradley come out for the extra point here.
So Goffstown, very quick, impressive drive. All started by Mikey Levesque's incredible kickoff return.
Yeah, and we said
that one looked rough, and it's no good. That could come back and haunt Goffstown.
That could be big for Goffstown, and that's Ethan Bradley's first missed extra point attempt, and since Bedford, I believe.
Not a good time to miss one. No time is there a good time to miss one.
But here's the thing. That one was a high arcing kick, end over end. It flipped a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see on this kickoff, Scott. You want to put one up in the air and let your defenders run under it for Goffstown.
So an impressive drive by the Grizzlies, and but the storyline is going to be this, Broden, and you know it as well as I do, is that can they stop Winnacunnet on their run? It looks like there's no doubt that Goffstown's going to be able to put points up.
So, Scott, we talked a little bit at half, and I think one of the things I said was that you look at the two teams, and for Goffstown, it's as simple to win this game. It's as simple as making one adjustment, and that's stopping the run up the middle. For Winnacunnet, I think it'll be a little bit trickier to pull it out from here. So we'll see as this kicks away.
Oh, man. Same exact thing. A little higher, but...
Oh, this one's going to be a reverse, crossing the field. That's going to be a backwards pass to number 6.
Nah, that's not going to get much. Although you got to wrap up, boys. So he picks up 5 more yards on a missed tackle by Flanagan, it looked like. And
interesting play. You know where I think they got that one from, Scott?
Well,
the Cowboys-Steelers game just a couple of days ago. Yeah. They did the same thing on a punt play, and they used that lateral to their advantage. That would be the professional football team. So this one to not the same extent as we see, just like a 10-yard gain about.
So is it fair enough to say here that Winneconnet needs to put points on the board on this drive?
This is crucial for Winneconnet.
Yeah.
This is a do-or-die situation here, Scott, as we're going to see a 3-wide set, something they haven't come out in too much of, but the 2 backs are still there for Winneconnet. Uzi Empoyo slips in, but there's a hold, or a flag, and a fumble.
Was it a fumble before the... That's Goffstown's ball. That's a fumble.
I think that's going to be a turnover, Scott.
It should be a turnover. It's Goffstown's ball. It's a fumble.
I believe that was a fumble, Scott. We're checking the replay right now, Scott, back in the studio.
Looks like they're saying that
there's a face mask on the defense, and that's going to change it.
That wouldn't matter.
So I can't see the replay right now, Scott, but we're going to get a confirmation if or if not that was a fumble. Little bit of an over celebration for a flag here on the Winnacunnet sideline as we were getting cheers sent up our direction.
Why wouldn't they mark off yardage on that if it was a face mask? This is rough because this is a semifinal game and the refs don't look like they have their act together here.
Yeah, this is not something you want to see.
Well, you don't want to see it if you're either side. I mean,
so it looks like they are going to tack the yardage on now.
Yeah. Well, you can't call a face mask, which is a personal foul, and that should be a 15-yarder, but.
Yeah, Scott, we were getting some words
now
tossed.
It's not.
So
What?
we are getting words tossed our way up here from the sideline.
Yeah.
I pointed towards the scoreboard because Goffstown is still winning.
Well, but we try to be somewhat neutral here.
It's a penalty, Scott. We can't get too overzealous about that.
It's first and 10 for the Winnacunnet Warriors.
Not too much of a gain there on that crucial personal foul. This is going to be wrapped up quick.
And that was number 76 and 70. That was Belanger and Capos in
Credit
the tackle.
there.
And if they can do that.
Belanger did something I've liked all season,
Yeah.
and he gets off his block sideways, Scott. So he doesn't try and push his man back too often. He just gets off the block, and he's there for the tackle.
Right, and I think that's what I was talking about is that maybe they have to go laterally, as opposed to pushing north-south.
But as much as you could throw off the balance of a running back if you push a big body like an offensive lineman back into him.
Yeah, so it's now second and, let's say, long 7.
Same set here, but
you got your offensive player in the neutral zone. I'm sorry they don't call that.
It's going to be a comeback route, and that's
great
jump
defense,
ball.
though. But
really
Levesque,
good defense. If Levesque is there a step earlier,
I like
that's
that play.
That's an interception and possibly a pick 6, Scott.
So it's a 3rd down and 1, and this is perfect if you're the Winnacunnet Warriors because they've had no problems picking up short yardage.
So Scott, we just got a text from the studio. It's hard to tell on that last face mask fumble type thing. So we're not 100% sure, and I don't think really anybody was 100% sure there
on the face mask penalty.
On the face mask or the fumble.
Oh, great!
I think it came down in the trenches there. So quick handoff again, and they're going to push forward for the first down.
And Goffstown has had no answer for that. I mean, so. You got to figure that if this game boils down to a 4th down and 2, that Winnecunnet's going to be in good shape because Goffstown hasn't really made any adjustments defensively that I can see.
I mean, we saw that one lone really great tackle for limiting the gain to about 2 yards there from Nate Belanger, and I'd love to see that happen again. But he's switched positions now, and now he's on the opposite side of the line. So don't know if we see that once again or what? That's a false start. That's a false start.
That's false start. So that one will be against Winnacunnet.
So the same thing happened earlier when we saw 4th down, and there was a running back that came way early.
Yeah.
And we're going to see the same thing here, and this one gets called. So last time we saw a 1st down and long. We did see a gain for about 10 from Winneconnet here.
I think this is where, this is not a team that's going to throw the ball a ton. At least they haven't demonstrated it. But they're happy to get those 6 and 7 yard average
I think we
runs.
do see a throw here. There was a little bit of communication there between the quarterback and his receiver. And no, it's going to be a handoff, and this one's going to be wrapped up quick.
He picks up maybe 2 to 3 yards.
They're giving him like 3 or 4, Scott.
No, he gave him 3 tops. If you look at the chain gang, Mr. Cody, I think, is on the yard indicator. So it's a 2nd and 12 at the 42. But you gotta think here though that this is going to be 4th down territory because they're in. Are you going to really try to punt and put them deep? I don't think so.
This is do or die here,
Exactly.
Scott. I said it earlier.
It's third quarter, but.
No, I think this is the turning point for Winnacunnet, and if they don't get it, it's crucial. Blue 20 called at the line here from the quarterback, and it's a pass play. This one's going to be tossed up deep. Will Sasso got great position, and that one's going to be incomplete.
Drops. Oh, lucky. Very lucky. Very, very lucky because Will Sasso, I think he mistimed it because
he mistimed it like half a step, Scott.
Number 8 had it.
I think that's number 6. The number is a little scrunched up. But Will Sasso was there every step of the way except for that last one, which could have been the turning point.
A lot of pressure.
Winneconnet.
So number 51, Toby Halpern, comes in for Capos.
And those are 2 different styles of play here, Scott. Maybe we see something shift between the difference between Halper and
we need a pass rush. And I don't think Goffstown's linemen are wide enough for a pass rush, but and it's going to be a handoff.
That's not going to get relatively close.
Now, what do you do if you're – I think you have to punt here. But we'll see. I mean,
You've got like a 4th and long 6.
It's a long 6, yeah.
And Hinault comes in for Flanagan, and Hinault has been really good from this roamer position.
They're going to go for it.
Knock on wood, but I like to see a defensive stand here. As this is, in my opinion, this is normally a pass play, but I think we're going to see a run play here from Winnacunnet.
Well, we talk about key plays of the game, and this is definitely one of them. A 4th down and 6. Look for the Winnacunnet quarterback to try to get Goffstown offsides on a hard count.
I do like that because that would shorten him down to about a 4th and 1.
Yeah.
But he's going to come out in the shotgun, and every time he's come out in the shotgun,
he's
Scott,
throwing the ball.
It's been a throw. That's a false start, as we saw. And Great defense there from Will Sasso, and that's no flag as he was making a play on the ball coming up from his soft coverage.
Yeah.
Really great play from Will Sasso. So, Scott, we talk a lot about this soft coverage that Goffstown comes out in. They line up a couple yards off, and they play a couple yards off. But Will Sasso uses speed, and he gets to the ball, and he makes a 50-50 play on it. Really good effort there from Will Sasso.
And this was very similar to the play that the Winnacunnet player did in the first half, where it was split-second timing. Could you call it a flag? And I think they were just, again, it was a very 50-50 type ball. And so let's see what Goffstown can do now with about 5.5 to go.
It was a matter of both players playing for the ball, Scott. In motion, that's Caden Perry, and he's not going to get it. That's going to be a keeper for Jarrett Hinault, and he springs this one, and he's got a 1st down and about 4 extra.
He almost broke that one.
He almost broke that one for a touchdown, Scott. That would have been a massive play for Goffstown. Just I shift of momentum so far, Scott, and this drive could, in essence, end the game for Goffstown.
Well, I think it's so premature to say that myself, but
Jeremy Hinault in motion this time, and he's going deep to Jonah Lopez. That's a catch.
He drops it.
Oh.
Another drop. Unbelievable. I mean, Caden Perry dropped one. Lopez in his hands. I mean,
that looked almost perfectly placed.
I mean,
almost perfectly caught rather. You can't. You got to bring it to the ground with you,
You got to
Scott.
catch those balls. I mean, Caden Perry dropped one in the first half. This is another one. Jarrett Hinault's arm is 100% working today.
And
Perfect.
Scott, if you're Winneconnet, you have to take a deep breath and thank the Almighty here that your corner didn't make a play on the ball there.
And Hinault stumbles and rumbles, whatever you want to call it, 9-yard gain.
Scott, so going back to that last play, the corner for Winnacunnet never turned around.
Yeah,
they never turned around, and you gotta say thank whoever that Jonah Lopez didn't end up catching that, because it wasn't due to your cornerback, because if it was, that's a flag. 3rd down and 1 here for Goffstown, and this one's going to be a run with Zach Picard, who gets wrapped
Horrible
up quickly.
That was a bad call, and I say that because you need 1 yard, and Hinault has gotten you 1 yard every time. And,
I think I don't know if that's a call or if that's a misread, or if that's just a great play by Winnacunnet.
Now, what do you do if you're Goffstown here? Do you punt the ball?
I say another read option. You let Jarrett Hinault do what he's done so well all season.
I don't know.
I guess Picard is your punter. You could see a toss back and just have him pooch kick it and have it end up deep down there. That's got to be in the playbook, right, Scott?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a pass interference if I've ever seen one, folks. Yeah. There is a flag down on the field.
There's a flag on the field. Flag on the field, folks.
Let's see what they do.
You said pass interference. I didn't see it.
There was some hands.
Maybe it's a hold.
It's a matter of whether
if it's a hold, it'll be a 1st down. Illegal man
downfield. That's a killer for Goffstown. Yeah, that's declined, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So it's a 50, another 50, one of those 50-50 pass interference. But the thing is, he got pushed forward. Exactly. Yeah. He got pushed forward from Caden Perry, and his motion pushed him forward, and he had to reach back for that ball. And he wasn't jumping forward for that ball, Scott.
I think you got to give credit to Winnacunnet there. I mean, they desperately needed a stop, and they got it.
They got it.
So, and then, Goffstown just didn't capitalize. I mean, Lopez, that was that was a catchable ball, no problem.
Yeah, he just has to bring it to the ground with him, so we'll see what Winnacunnet can do with this opportunity here. They're going to do what they've done all game, and that's going to get stopped. Great play by Goffstown's defensive.
You got Belanger and Poyo on that tackle.
Two players who have been really breakout on defense this year. They've been so good from their corresponding position. Like, Scott, those two players, I'd say the keys to the defense this year.
Yeah, I think, Goffstown has got to put the Winnacunnet Warriors in, like, 3rd and 6 type situations.
You know what? Not even that specific. Passing situations.
Yeah, passing situations. I get that, but I guess in a situation where, Goffstown has a better opportunity, but when they've been ripping off so many yards.
And Scott, none of the Goffstown secondary has been able to be stopped so far in these passing situations.
A lot of guys in the box for Goffstown. This is go deep ball.
Yep. And this is an out route double move, and Caden Perry's got to backtrack.
That could have been pass interference.
That could have been pass interference, but I don't think the thing with pass interference is you gotta look. Was the receiver impeded enough that he couldn't catch the ball? He put one hand out, and the other hand was just sitting at his side there, Scott.
I think his body got in the way of the Warrior receiver, and I think that's where it was questionable.
But that was a result of the double move made by the Warrior receiver.
But good job by the quarterback, Kyle Tilley, because he saw that Goffstown had 10 in the box.
Yeah. I'd just like to make a side note here. This soft coverage did come to bite Goffstown as Will Sasso overcommitted to the double move there. It's going to be a handoff. He slips it, and this is going to be about a 4th and 5.
I don't think if you're Winnacunnet, you can take any chances here.
No.
I think you've got to bring in your kicking unit.
So, Scott, a game of yes or no's pass interference here. So that last one, I don't think the receiver is impeded enough to not catch the ball on that one. Yeah. And the reason is he only put one arm up, but that was not as a result of Caden Perry's contact with him.
Yeah, I can't tell. The quarterback is going back in the game. I don't know who the kicker is. So
I believe the kicker's number 40.
All right. Are they
and
going
he's sitting
for
over
it?
On the sideline over here.
So
they are going
for it.
I'd look to see another play-action play here, but they look like they've got it stacked, and this is going to be a run, Scott.
Or do they just try to draw him off sides,
Yeah, watch the ball here. And he's free. He can't catch that one, though. That's
a badly thrown ball.
Poor pass, Scott.
Yeah. That was a great play, but poorly executed, unfortunately, for the Warriors.
And you know what? Not the play you want to see from Michael Levesque, but way to track your way back to the possible downfield receiver, as this one's not going to be good. And this is going to be a turnover on downs for Goffstown.
So Goffstown will get very good field position here at the 50-yard line, and with 2 minutes to play, I think it's safe to say here, Broden, that if Goffstown can put a touchdown on the board here right now, it could be really challenging for the Warriors to come back. I say that only because of the number of possessions that they'll have and their offense, which is mostly grind and run.
Yeah, you want to at least run down the quarter here if you're Goffstown, and that's what Picard's going to do on this run, and he gets a first down and throws a man. Oh my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. He leveled a Warrior on that one.
Scott, it looked like Zach Picard there was both a brick wall and made of jelly as a man totally bounces off of him. That was insane.
No, that was rugby.
He's a rugby player, Scott.
That was rugby.
Scott, you know what that's reminiscent of? That's reminiscent of Marshawn Lynch's Beastquake.
Perry in motion.
And he's going to Hinault keeps it.
And look, see, he gets 5 and 6 yards on that play every time because they can't commit. They have to give credence to Perry doing the sweep.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like this we'll use an analogy here, Scott. This Winnacunnet defense has been like a bad significant other. They have commitment issues. They just can't commit to it, Scott.
Oh boy, that's a rough one.
Quick pass out to Perry, and he makes a move, and he made two.
You know what? He better clean off his cleats or something because he slipped too many times today.
Scott, that sets him up with a 3rd and about 1, but he made one move that sent 2 Winnacunnet Warriors.
So I'm going to say this 15 times, all right?
Okay.
Jarrett Hinault, quarterback keeper, and use Picard as, remember that lead blocks where they fake it?
Yeah. And I would say in a race, I'd say Picard is a little bit faster than Hinault here, but Picard's going to end up with it, and he's just going to power forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does.
So if you're Goffstown, I think you just let the clock go because you have 35 seconds, right? I think it's 35.
33 now.
Well, I know that, but for in between.
Oh, yes, in between plays.
In between plays, I think it's
Something
35
like
seconds. And if that's the case, then you let the quarter go.
And if not, you don't throw a pass play here. You run because that's what you've been doing, and that's going to run down the clock.
And this will do
that's
it
what
for
they're
the
going to do.
third
They're not going to.
Well, I think Coach Hammond is really smart here because he knows that clock is important because if Goffstown puts points on the board here, that's going to force Winnacunnet to score 3 touchdowns in 1 quarter. And
that's quite hard for any offense, let alone one that relies on run
correct.
To do.
And that's my point is that I think that both of these teams have that, grinded out type of play. The difference between Winnacunnet and Goffstown, in my opinion, is that Goffstown has the passing threat because Hanault, is a more accurate passer, and they have better receivers.
Yeah. I also think that they are both grinded. Well, they are both grinded out teams. I think there's 2 different versions of it because Goffstown's grinded out relies on the fact that they go hurry up, and they're the opposite team just gets kind of left in the dust.
Yeah.
Almost.
So, I want to give credit though to Winnacunnet. If they did not, there's just been a couple of 3 poorly executed offensive plays where they faked Goffstown out. That last one was a great example. It was a pass to number, I think it was 87, Nick Purdy. I think it was 87.
Yeah.
Where he was wide open.
Yeah.
And the ball was just way overthrown.
Scott, we're going to pull up the graphic again. Manchester Memorial's coach in the paper said 21 is the golden number.
Well, so far it's 20.
And it's 20. So
yeah.
this is Goffstown's opportunity to maybe hit that golden number
and that
quite
was,
soon.
Coach Rob Sturgis, who played both Winnacunnet, against both Winnacunnet and Goffstown, and he was in the Union Leader.
So Goffstown has a chance to hit that golden number.
It looks like it's a tie score. It's Nashua North 21 and Salem 21, and you can watch that on GTV Channel 22.
Yeah,
if you want to channel surf.
If you're watching at home in Goffstown today on the cable TV, the good old cable TV.
So we've got a first and 10 on the 12-yard line.
It's going to be a handoff to Picard, who makes a nice cut, and he's going to get in
there.
That's a touchdown.
And there goes your 21-point threshold. That's 26 now on the board. Now, does Goffstown go for?
I think they go for 2 here, Scott. Because that's gonna force Winnacunnet to then go for 21.
Yeah.
Rather than if you do score those 3 touchdowns, which would be hard.
Let's see what they're going to do.
They're going for
Bradley's going to kick it.
I think also if you're Goffstown, you have a little bit of realism here, and you realize, maybe they won't score 3 touchdowns in 1 quarter.
I also think that's a lot harder for a 2-point conversion against Winnacunnet.
And that's good.
And that was not even close.
Every day of the week, Scott. So that's good.
27-7 as we are just a couple of ticks under the 12-minute mark in the 4th quarter. So realistically here, and I was talking to our cameraman Aiden while you were making your
mad dash,
500-yard dash into Goffstown High School, and I was telling Aiden that there's only a certain number of possessions that a team has.
Yeah.
And I would contend here that Winnacunnet has 3 possessions in this quarter.
And
at most,
if
barring a turnover.
So here's the thing, Scott. Running the ball over and over again runs down a lot of clock.
I understand that.
Especially when you're not going hurry up and you have to go to the sideline every single play.
But what I'm trying to say here is that Winnacunnet will have about, barring any turnovers, 3 possessions in this 4th quarter tops. And that means that they have to score on every possession. And Goffstown, when they get the ball,
cannot score any points.
They hold them.
Any points.
And the odds of that will be tough. So now, but what Winnacunnet needs is a quick score here. So a kickoff return would be awesome for them.
And this one's going to bounce into that second level. And
too much speed, man. They got great kick return. One of the reasons why Winnacunnet has done so well on their kickoff returns is speed. And that's why I think that they're one of the better teams that we faced is because they're strong and they're fast.
Yeah.
And in football, that's the key. So now let's see, does Winneconnet do anything differently here? Because, the grinded out type of football and scoring, I mean, yeah, they might be able to put a touchdown on the board, but does it take them 4 minutes to do it?
Yeah, Scott, I think they have to go pass at least once or twice this drive.
So you got
I think they do that here.
Mike Levesque on the near side here, closest to your camera. He's guarding number 4. Handoff up the middle.
And Eaton.
And that's almost another face mask there. You got to be careful, and there is one.
There is.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I saw that one. It's another face mask.
Listen. All of these players on Winnacunnet are hard to bring down. But if you're going to bring them down, do not bring them down by their face mask. You can't do it.
So that's 15 more yards. And, so let's think about this, right? A great kickoff return to the 44-yard line. You get 8 yards in a run. So you picked up now 15 yards there. So you get the ball at the 42-yard line and only like 6 seconds went off the clock.
Yeah. This is turning into a Winnacunnet like favoring drive at this point.
Well, what I'm trying to say is if you're going to let them do it, let them stretch it out 70-yard drive and let them run clock. But not good if you're Goffstown here. You got to slow this game down. Speed it up in that respect.
It's that option, but the quarterback's going to keep it.
That's a great play.
That's really good option play by him.
Well, he cut it back, which was awesome.
So they're going hurry up here, Scott.
They don't have a choice, like I said.
Yeah.
They're going to have, at best, 3 possessions this game. They have to go.
This is going to be a pass here, Scott. No, I'm incorrect there. But he gets an outside angle and wrapped up by the legs, and that's going to be a first down.
Yeah. And he goes out of bounds, which stops the clock. It would have been a first down anyway, which would have stopped the clock temporarily. But this is exactly what you want if you're Winnacunnet. You're at the 24-yard line with under 11 minutes to play, and looks like we've got Capos at nose tackle now.
I like to see that, but I'd also like to see Capos switch back to that edge rusher and have Nate Belanger run the nose here, as he's been so good versus these runs.
Up the middle handoff, nothing. And good adjustment by Goffstown. Capos and Belanger in on that one. And, again, right now, if you're Goffstown, the clock is your friend. You can give up plays, but you can't give up big plays.
Yeah.
So we've got a 2nd down and 6 on the 20-yard line for Winnacunnet. They've got 2 receivers to the top of your screen. It's going to be a pass play. That's nobody there. I'm talking nobody there.
There's a possibility of intentional grounding, but I also think that's probably miscommunication there.
Yeah,
there was somebody in the general vicinity. So, Scott, here, if I'm the Grizzlies and I see Winnacunnet trying to do something they don't do all that often, and that is run a hurry up, I do things that are going to tire out the backs of Winnacunnet. Get in front of them to tackle, so they have to keep moving their legs and push against these big bodies that Goffstown has. Do not let them, don't do these shoestring tackles anymore.
You got Fredericks. It was in motion. Now he sets up as a slot receiver.
He's playing more of a tight end almost position,
yeah.
But he's set out in the slot. It's going to be a handoff.
Up the middle, nothing.
Really great
and that's
play.
Belanger.
And Leidick.
I'm just going to say it right now. Nate Belanger, the all-state nose tackle or center, because in my opinion.
He's got to get one of the two, right?
If he doesn't make all-state, then I don't know what all-state is.
Yeah.
Certainly you're in good hands, but, bad.
Oh.
Okay. So this is the play, another one of those plays of the game. So I think it's safe to say here that if Goffstown stops them on a 4th and 4, this game is almost going to be almost impossible for Winneconnet to come back. So this is a play of the game if you're Winneconnet. They must execute this first down.
Pretty spread out wide here for Winneconnet, and they're trying to move the bodies from the middle. It's going to be a run.
Nope, it's going to be a pass play.
Pass play, way to get there.
No, and that's it.
By Jeremy Hinault. Really, really great eyes upfield by Jeremy Hinault. He started to commit for the run and then turned and used his wheels, and he got out to the receiver. So even if he caught it, he was there tackling him already.
So things look very encouraging here if you're Goffstown Grizzlies with a 27-7 lead with under 9.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. And for the Grizzlies, it's called grind. And right now it's the Jarrett Hinault Picard run show.
Yeah.
Because the clock is your friend right now. And if you can pick up just 2 or 3 first downs, even if you have to punt, it's going to be incredibly challenging for Winnacunnet. And if Goffstown scores here, it's game over.
Yeah. You got to take down as much clock as possible, and I think Goffstown is quite apt to doing that as they're a run-first team, Scott.
Protect the ball here at all costs, too, if you're Goffstown.
Handoff to Picard, who tries to cut it back across the center, and he's not going to get too much.
He only gets 1 yard on that carry.
Which is not the worst thing, Scott.
No, it's not. And
because now you're not going to go hurry up, and you're just going to sit here, wait for the call to come in, and, yeah, maybe we run this play, maybe we don't. Oh, the clock's almost all the way down. Let's run the play.
Well, you have to wait until the referee holds up his hand, and that gives him, 10 seconds, I think?
Something like that.
And that's what, Hinault is very content here to eat up all 35 seconds.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the ref did there. He held up the hand, and the snap came through.
Hinault picks up about 3 yards on the carry.
Scott, if you look at that front battle there, the 5 for Goffstown and the 3 for Winnacunnet, that's like I don't know how Jarrett Hinault squeaks 3 out of there.
Yeah, he's a pretty big boy. Yeah. So do you run the ball again, or do you pass here?
I think you go outside handoff in the direction of the weak side here towards Jonah Lopez, because look at his man. He's all the way down the field. I think you get the exact amount. This one's going to be a screen, however, and you do go towards Jonah Lopez's side. And Zach Picard stumbles out of bounds.
He gets a first down. What a beautiful play. There is a flag on the play. That could be a hold. And it's usually in the area of holding.
We're here now. Let him play.
Let him play, but
there are flags in football, so.
Oh, legal man downfield. Right? Is that what it is when he puts his head on?
Yeah, that is. But yeah. I'm going to tend to disagree with that. It all depends on where. It depends on where the running back was there, I think. And that's going to set them back to the exact spot they were pretty much already in.
Yeah, so it'll bring up a
a
little bit more, actually.
Like 3 or 4.
No, way more. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. Oh, I was incorrect. My bad there.
I want to see, so it's 8 minutes to go here, and the clock is still running. So, again, Goffstown just content here. Just chew that clock up. Wait till he puts his arm up. They don't wait, though.
Yeah, play action. Jarrett Hinault shot down the field towards Caden Perry. That's overthrown.
Wide open. He had him.
That's the right read there by Jarrett Hinault.
It just wasn't, that was one of his not that great throws so far this year.
He's been really good this year throwing it, but that one's just not on target.
But Perry was wide open.
Perry was wide open, and we've seen that a couple times. So but you know what? In this case here, if you look at that, you obviously don't have that split second to make the decision, but you do want to run the clock out if you're Goffstown. So incompletion doesn't help you.
So you're arguing there that they lost 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep. So Picard will kick. Look for the block here if you're Winnacunnet.
And that's going to angle out of bounds.
That's a great kick, though.
That's going to roll. And
that is great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so they'll be at the 48-yard line of Goffstown approximately with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left. So,
okay, do or die now for Winneconnet. This is the drive.
Yeah, but
for Winneconnet.
I think if you're the Grizzlies, the penalty certainly hurts you on that one.
Yeah.
You want to pick up 2 or 3 first downs. If you could have gotten that down to 5 minutes and then turned it over to Winnacunnet.
Yeah. You just wanted to run as much clock off.
Yeah, so the key here is for both teams is protect the ball, but Winnacunnet needs quick scores.
Yeah,
they can't afford to to spend 3 minutes and
you have to pass the ball here if you're Winnacunnet, and that's what they're going to do.
Nobody's there.
That was not a catchable ball. Yeah. I don't know why so many times we've seen the calls for flags here from the Winnacunnet sideline, especially on these pass interference.
Burden, you're really tough.
I'm sorry.
You're a tough homer.
I'm sorry, but I have contradicted some of the non-calls against it.
Yeah.
I try and be fair, Scott, but at the same time, you do also you're a football player or a coach.
Gotcha.
You do have to understand the implications.
Single coverage,
here.
1-on-1. Levesque on number 1, Patrick Britton, nearest to your screen. Inside handoff.
That's going to get him 3 or 4 there.
That'll get him down to a 3rd down and 5, maybe make it a long 5. Oh,
6.
6 make it. So 3rd and we're going to say 6. But the clock keeps going. I
don't know why you run it there. That's you ran as much clock as you could there. And you're going to run it
quarterback keeper,
again.
But no, you're not getting it. And the clock keeps going because he didn't get out of bounds.
He didn't get out of bounds. His progress was stopped. And
so the clock. So a 4th down. So this is your play of the game here, folks. If Goffstown stops Winnacunnet here, you can pretty much call it a game. There's not enough time for Winnacunnet to put up 3 scores. Again, barring turnovers.
Yeah, this one you play like a red zone play, Scott. You treat the 1st down marker like the end zone. You got to stop your guys from getting there.
Keep in mind that if it wasn't for that fumble recovery for a touchdown, Winnacunnet hasn't scored an offensive touchdown.
They have not scored an offensive touchdown yet, Scott.
So, again, we got 1-on-1, Britton versus Levesque.
Shotgun
and he's not
snap,
looking that way.
Pump fake, and Perry backtracks, and that's going to be intercepted by Will Sasso. No flag, clean play here.
All right, well,
Will Sasso, what a play as he goes up and he pulls that one down
that'll pretty
for a
much do
Goffstown
it.
interception.
That'll pretty much do it, guys. Again, barring any type of crazy turnovers or something that we've never seen before, but I can't fathom Winnacunnet coming back at this point with 6 minutes to play. So Sasso I tell you, he's another one of these players. You knew that he was talented, but, man, has he stepped up.
Scott, I talked a lot about it in the early games. I went to these 7-on-7 for Goffstown. He played really good in the secondary, which we hadn't seen him do all that much, and he's translated that to the actual 11-on-11 full pads.
So Goffstown's looking to punch their ticket to a championship game next week, and they're
going
to hand it off to Picard.
He's got nothing.
And
in fact, he's got less than nothing. He's got probably about a loss of a half a yard there.
Again, Goffstown, if they're able to, by just running the ball 3 times in a row, they'll peel off, about 2 minutes of play.
You know what, Scott? As you were just saying, I'm a homer and all that fun stuff. I am a student. I
said that just as affectionately.
But the scoreboard does not reflect the amount of effort that Winnacunnet has put in this game. And I'd say this would probably, barring any turnover, this would be a much closer game in my eyes.
Yes, I think Winnacunnet, their defense, I think has been really good. And you're right. I think it's been a closer game than
their offense has been just that as well. I don't think they had too many plays that didn't get them 4 or 5 yards. So I think if you're looking at this box score, it does not reflect the performance that we've seen from the Warriors today.
So Goffstown, if you're smart, run the ball again.
Yep.
It's all about clock at this point.
Read option.
You don't need to have an incomplete pass or something here.
Let Jared Hinault do what he'd
do it anyway.
They're gonna go deep.
He held them.
Yeah, but
he wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. He held them. He held them. He held him. Now it was an uncatchable ball. I think,
but I think you could dispute holding there.
He grabbed the back of his jersey.
Yeah,
that's a hold. To me, that's a hold. But
yeah, it wouldn't be a pass if it was called, Scott. If it was called,
yeah,
it would be a hold, not a pass interference.
Right. I agree, and it doesn't matter because it's not a spot foul anyway.
No. Neither of those are spot fouls.
Yeah.
So. You know what? Will Sasso was open over the middle. You take your lump sums, you get the first down, and you win this game, I think. But whatever, you let Zach Picard punt it. And that's what he's going to do. And that's
nice
a good kick.
Again.
That's going to spiral. And Jeremy Hinault.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of what they do best, this is Jeremy Hinault's best aspect of his game. These special teams plays where he comes flying down the field and he wraps him up by the legs. He doesn't let him get any return. Great play by Jeremy Hinault.
The Hinault men, once again, are having a beast of a game. And so 4 minutes and 42 seconds left. And, really, Winneconnet needs a miracle here. They need, they need to score within a minute,
Yeah.
Goffstown needs to turn the ball over, score again. I mean, it's going to be
Scott,
nearly impossible.
In an offense that's so reliant on the run, and I don't think we've seen a run over 15 yards from Winnacunnet today.
So, again, you got two deep safety. Well, yeah, it's kind of a cover two.
End around from the slot receiver, and this one's going to get back to the line maybe a yard. And
you got number 56. I think that was Adam Leidick, who was looking to strip the ball, which is a good play because the other Goffstown defender had him by the ankles. And, this is not – you can't – I mean, why they are running the ball is
is this accepting defeat here
this
from
almost
Winneconnet?
Looks – I mean, I watched an Exeter game in the championship game when Goffstown won it several years ago, and it was very similar where they couldn't pass. And when you're in these situations, you got to throw the ball.
Yeah, Scott, I said it earlier. We've seen four.
That's
a double pass. It's going to be a fumble. That's Goffstown ball.
That's Goffstown ball. It's game over here, folks.
That's done.
And there's
he was down. I think he was down.
They're not saying he was
They're
down.
not saying he's down.
They're not saying he's down. So
that's
a
touchdown,
folks.
Wow.
Who was that?
It's Will Sasso on that play.
No.
I believe so. That's Will Sasso.
No celebrations yet here, folks.
Yeah.
They're talking about it.
Yeah, I think he was he went to pick the ball up and he was down.
Yeah, I think he was down, but
I'll take the points off the scoreboard on the broadcast.
Was that Flanagan who picked it up?
It was Will Sasso, Scott.
Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to talk to the coach.
They're going to say he's down right there. And I agree with that one, Scott. I think he was down recovering the ball, and this isn't the NFL where you have to be touched down by contact. Yeah. If a part of your body, like the knee or the elbow,
nonetheless,
is down, you're down. 36-yard line is where they're going to spot that one.
That'll do it here, folks. So Goffstown has done its job.
Yeah.
And right now it's just who's winning who are they going to play? Are they playing Salem or Nashua North? So the cheering can start for the Grizzly fans. And they've just done a spectacular job this year.
Yeah, this is – I honestly, Scott, I think I had lower expectations going into the year. I can't lie. I didn't see this team making a championship, possibly.
No, I didn't see it either. Although if you talked to the parents of these players, they did. They thought this was the year.
And it very much so looks like it, Scott, as Picard's going to try and run this clock down.
Yeah, and that's all you're going to do here. Is just going to run your 3 running plays and call it a day, maybe even 4 because you have.
I think that's a bad spot, Scott.
Probably.
I think he's stretched out for a couple more after the fact that he was falling to the ground.
Do you throw the ball here?
No.
Yeah.
Well. And if it is a pass play, if I'm Sheridan Alt, I just say I'll take it.
And he picks up about 5 yards on that one to bring up. I think it's going to be a 3rd down and maybe.
Wow,
That's another bad. Looks like
another bad spot.
Weird spot. Right?
Is that Bud Flanagan down there on the
I don't
the
know.
marker? Trying to do my hand binoculars here, Scott.
Yeah, well, it's not Bud Flanagan who decides where to put the stick.
I know.
It's the referee, but
it's going to be a 3rd down and 3 when it really should have been a 2 or a 1.
Yeah, under 3 minutes to play in what appears to be a victory for the Goffstown Grizzlies.
Another handoff to Picard and
stretch
out.
Is close.
I think he got it, Scott.
He's really close. We'll find out in a sec.
See where they put it.
If it's not, it's going to be. They're going to have to measure. The Goffstown don't go for it. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
they're not going to punt. So let's talk about so far. We usually talk about our players of the game, and I'm going to go with one. One that we haven't said a lot. I'm going to say Mike Levesque.
I like that one,
and I like that because I think Mike Levesque's kickoff return to start that second half set the momentum.
Yep.
And not only that, he had 2 or 3 really good plays in pass coverage.
Yeah.
And I also give him just kudos for good tackling in terms of things. So.
Yeah, I think he's had a really solid game, really good game.
So North is leading 33-21. And that is a first down for Goffstown, by the way, while we were quickly checking a score. And the Goffstown crowd recognizes the effort here, and this is just really been a great season so far for Goffstown as they head into a championship.
So, Scott, as you say it, North is only up by 5 now. It's 33-28.
Oh.
So, if anything, Exeter has displayed that this North team is at least competable with another talent.
Yeah.
This is going to be Cam Hyzak who's going to fumble.
And if you're Goffstown, I think you don't want any of your
starters.
Oh,
they're going to call that for Winnacunnet?
What? That's almost impossible.
I don't know how that one happened. There were 2 offensive players there in the area for Goffstown.
Now, if I'm Goffstown, I put in my second string here. I don't want anybody injured here. So I don't want Dalton out there or anybody.
No. Scott, there's about 7 minutes left right now in the North Salem game. And we'll be watching that one as the 2 minutes wind down left in this one.
Give me a second. I'll be right back. I got to let Al know something.
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to see some new faces on this defense. Not entirely second string or third string. And now we're going to see some substitutions and a timeout for Goffstown here. So, 27-7 right now, 2 minutes and 4 long seconds left in this fourth quarter as Goffstown is up 20 points over Winneconnet as Goffstown looks to punch their hole in their ticket there to the championship game.
Yeah, so I tell you, I think I didn't come in with championship expectations this year in terms of competing for a championship. I think the team was going to be good, but I also think that when you lose Peyton Strickland, who I think is
one of the best football players
in the state, and you lose Duval.
Yep. And Cody.
And you lose Cody, who I think, those 3 guys are.
And you didn't have Capos for the entire regular season.
But I'm just saying, when you lose 3 of those defensive players, who I think highly of, and to think that this team, held Winnacunnet scoreless. Okay?
Winnecunnet's offense scoreless, yes.
Scoreless, right, is a massive feat. The defense did not give up a score.
Yeah.
Okay?
And now we're going to see that defense rewarded just a little bit as the second string defense is going to come out here.
And you have
Except for Will Sasso is still out on the field, Scott.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but
that's an offside. That was an offside. Somebody jumped out a little bit early.
So one thing we don't know, there's things that we know and there's things that we don't know. What we know is Goffstown's headed to the championship game. What we don't know is who they're playing and where they're playing. So
if you tune in to Channel 22 right about now, as the action starts to die down here, you could see what's happening over in Stello Stadium, right?
Yeah, they're in Stello Stadium, and all along they talked about how the playoffs would be held at the home site of the higher seed. Well, there is no, arguably,
they're both ones.
If they're both ones, there is no higher seed if it's Nashua and North.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
And Owen Berry with a nice leg tackle there, coming up from the safety position.
Yep.
And Scott, with
that was 21 tackling 21.
I think so.
Yeah. How often do you see that? One number tackling another.
I don't know. Maybe not that often, but I think
it's like Wii football.
You know what? Owen Berry has made a really good case so far this year, as he's probably going to fill in for senior Zach Picard in the coming seasons. So,
first down for the Winnacunnet Warriors, number 34 with that first down. That would be Dylan Atwood. And the clock will stop momentarily while the chains are moved. And then the clock will resume as it does now with under a minute and 30 to play.
So, Scott, I said it earlier. You have to give Winnacunnet all the credit in the world here. They may not have put up a score, but they definitely did make a very good case on defense. And they may put up a score here in what's considered garbage time, I guess, at this point. But
this
Goffstown starting defense, at least, held them to scoreless. But again, I don't think the box score represents how much effort we've seen from this Winnacunnet team today.
Well, and I think Winnecunnet's recipe or game plan was a really strong one. It's like grind it out, chew up a lot of clock, which they did, and keep the Goffstown offense off the field, because the Goffstown offense put up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And 4 legit touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it's 33-28. We're being told by the public address announcer here that would be North over Salem. So, it's a very interesting score in the sense that Nashua North has been by far the front runner for Division I championship quest.
But Salem looks
and
to be neck and neck with them.
And North has blown out almost all of their opponents.
Yeah.
And arguably,
quite handily.
Goffstown, with the exception of
Bedford,
the first
week
Bedford
1.
game, has pretty
Done the
much
same.
put up 20 some odd, more than 25, almost
30 every game, I believe,
except for this one. Yeah.
But I think that's due to a slow start from the Goffstown offense.
But that was their issue in the first half. It's been the issue for the last couple of games, is a slow start.
Pitch out here to number 34. That's going to be a touchdown. Yep. And no, Owen Barry with a
fumble!
That's a fumble.
Oh, I thought he fumbled it. I thought he put the ball on the deck and it just stayed there.
It looked like it. It hit a pylon, and now, Scott, if that was considered a fumble and it hit a pylon, you know what that is? It's a touchback for Goffstown.
So it looks like the Winnacunnet Warriors are going to put some points on the board here. 1 yard to go.
Same set here, and 34 is going to get that, and he's going to push forward.
And that'll do it. So Winnacunnet puts up a touchdown. It's now 27-13, and they'll.
Scott, you know what? I said it earlier. That's a garbage time touchdown.
Oh yeah, we get it. And that's okay. That's part of the.
This is the second string for either team, and the only starter out there on the starters out on the field is Will Sasso and number 17. That's Tilly for Winnacunnet there. So we're going to see them go for 2 rather than call a kicker out here for Winnacunnet, and we'll see if that can prevail for them.
As the sun comes out again.
Yeah, the sun has been in and out.
Beautiful.
Fake pitch, and that's quarterback keeper.
Yeah,
and
that's a 2-point conversion, so it's 27-15. And you'll see an onside kick coming.
Maybe.
Of course you will. Of course you're going to see an onside kick. You have to.
I think Winnacunnet has probably accepted defeat at this point.
I think you'll see an onside kick.
Yeah, the kick team has already joined a little bit early here, and we saw that last time that we saw a fake punt.
Kick, so
I think you're right, Scott.
So
surprising, you're correct. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
A little bit of. I know that. We give a credit to first-year head coach Nick Hammond, who has really done a stellar job.
Yeah.
Him and his staff. I mean, there's so many folks on the Goffstown football staff that are volunteers. You know? And that's across the state, by the way. I mean, I'm sure Winnacunnet has a whole slew of guys that don't get paid. They do it for the love of the game.
And Scott, you know what? That's the same with our team here at GTV. So we'd like to thank everyone who's out here today. Aiden, Scott, yourself, Adam, and Dave back at the studio, and we'd like to thank everyone that tuned in as well to watch this victory, barring anything that goes insane here, Scott, for Goffstown. As we're going to see the kickoff attempt.
And the hands team will be out there for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, this one's going to bounce and
you
jump on it.
Yeah, someone's got to get that ball. And that was a great onside kick, by the way.
Yeah. So Goffstown's going to come out here. Victory formation, Scott. They're going to take a couple knees.
And is it going to be the starters in the victory formation?
I think not. It looks like it.
Number 3 is coming out, so I think that's the case. So with that, folks, great game here in Goffstown as the Grizzlies roll.
It looks like the starters are coming out here for Goffstown.
Yeah, this is something that you typically do. It allows your starters to celebrate.
Yeah,
no one's going to do any shenanigans or anything like
that.
The
V formation.
Yeah. So a good effort by the Warriors, but they come up short today against the Goffstown team that didn't look great in that first half, but they were able to fix something.
Yeah.
In terms of, Winnacunnet was running the ball like crazy, and I think the one thing that Goffstown has to kind of shore up is that run defense.
Yeah. And I think that goes true for the team that they're probably going to be competing with in the championship. Whether it's North or Salem, both are very good teams in the run. As this is going to be the last kneel down here for Goffstown, as some high fives and some smacks on the back of the head are
it's been a great effort
exchanged
by the Grizzlies. So with that, we don't know where we'll be playing.
Yeah, so tune in if you're watching at home on the cable television. Tune in to channel 22 or wherever it's being streamed to as well to watch the Salem and Nashua North game. As I'm Broden McCune, along with me is Scott Gross, and we're going to sign off. And we hope to see you come championship time. So thank you, folks, for tuning in. And as this is a great victory here for Goffstown and a great all-around victory for the program. So we'd like to sign off today, and thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to stay hydrated. Goodbye.
Something we haven't seen, or it could be a play we've seen a dozen times. It's really hard to know. If you're Salem, you're probably second guessing a little bit about what you have called, because North just called timeout. So
what are you going to call here if you're Salem?
Boy, that's why I'm up here, John Collins.
The double
I'm
dive, the
here,
trap. You've been calling out all what you're doing.
I've always been a fan of fullback trap, no matter what. But I know that's not what we're going to see.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I think you go with your double dive or some kind of a.
You know what? The play that they haven't worked was the double dive.
A waggle play, maybe giving the quarterback the option to run it if he has nothing there. We'll see what happens.
Don't miss this one, guys. Here we go. 4th down and 4. Tony Clements, the quarterback for Salem. He's got Fernandez in motion. He's going to throw it. Intercepted by Jaden Espinal. Jaden Espinal, number 7, is going to run out of bounds.
A flag down after the interception.
A couple of unsportsmanlike calls against Salem out of frustration, I think.
He had an open receiver. All he had to do was put it over his head.
That is not going to affect the fact that North may have just sealed the deal.
It shouldn't.
Jaden Espinal, who fumbled earlier, now the hero of this one as he comes up with the interception on 4th and 4.
Nose for the football. That's what Espinal's got.
Yeah, Spencer Whiting Getting escorted by the team captain there, Curtis Harris Lopez, who's
And now
talking
we all
about the necessity to stick around.
And now we all stand and shiver while we wait for the officials to make their decisions here.
Yeah,